Up next in the news, Dallas and Fort Worth law officers mourn the deaths of policemen in the line of duty.
Some important information for mothers who smoke.
And companies in China want to do more business in North Texas. Find out why.
News 8 at 5 is next.
Let's go to churches, 'cause they got a lot of what I like.
Score big points with your team by bringing home Church's Stadium Party Boxes. The 10-piece box has 10 big pieces, legs and thighs, for only $4.99. The 15-piece box is just $7.49.
Let's go to churches, 'cause they got a lot of what I like.
Church's Stadium Party Boxes, just the way you like it.
Let's go.
Stop by today and make your best deal at any one of your Jeep and Eagle dealers.
The League of Women Voters will register voters from 2 until 6, Saturday, September 19th at area Tom Thumb Page stores. Come out and register to vote in the spirit of Texas. Working in the spirit of Texas. WFAA TV, News 8 presents Chip Moody, John McKay, Troy Duncan, and Dale Hansen. This is News 8 at
5. In a top-notch police officer.
Friends and colleagues remember a Fort Worth police officer whose death they call senseless. Good afternoon. Thank you for joining us.
Chip is off today. I'm Gloria Campos. Tuesday night, a suspected drunk driver slammed into Officer Brent Wisdom as he was changing a stranded motorist's tire. Today, friends and co-workers and family members said goodbye to the young officer. Channel 8's Mary Stewart has more now from our Fort Worth newsroom.
Well,
Mary?
Gloria, Brent Wisdom told friends he became an officer because he didn't like what was going on in the world. He wanted to help change it, but he never got a chance. They came from Fort Worth and Dallas and Grand Prairie, even as far away as San Antonio. More than 600 officers paid their respects on this gray early morning. Classmates from the police academy sat near the front of the sanctuary. Nearby were the officers' parents, grandparents, and 18-year-old brother. The friends who knew Brent Wisdom as a smiling baseball player from Mansfield High, and the friends who knew him as a natural police officer, just a few weeks away from celebrating his first year on the force.
He began his career with a passionate fervor. His supervisor spoke highly of him. His fellow officers loved him, and all respected him and said that he would be one of Fort Worth's finest.
Family members say the 22-year-old TCJC graduate always wanted to be a policeman. Tuesday night, a suspected drunk driver slammed into Officer Wisdom as he changed a tire for a stranded motorist. The suspect, Kenneth Walker, was seriously hurt, but he survived. Now he faces charges of involuntary manslaughter. It has been 4 years since a Fort Worth police officer has died in the line of duty. But that doesn't make it any easier on the officers or any easier on those who must console the single officer's family.
We can place our faith and trust in God and know that He is in control, and that somehow, some way, He will bring good out of this most tragic situation.
This death brings to 4 the number of officers in the North Texas area who have died in the last 2 weeks. Unfortunately, these days it seems that when it comes to grief, police officers' families and friends are never alone. Gloria?
Thank you, Mary. One of those officers was John Paul Jones Jr. in Dallas. Dallas police still don't know why Jones collapsed yesterday while chasing a juvenile suspect who carried a gun. Jones' partner gave the 25-year-old officer CPR, but he died later at Baylor University Medical Center. The medical examiner has not ruled on the cause of death pending blood and tissue sample toxicology tests. Those results won't be available for several weeks. Tonight, officers will hold a candlelight vigil in Jones' memory at the Southeast substation.
The Dallas County District Attorney's Office says it will seek to have the 16-year-old who allegedly murdered Jamie Easter certified as an adult. The 13-year-old Pleasant Grove girl was found stabbed to death last Friday at her home. A neighborhood teenager was arrested for the girl's murder on Tuesday after police found evidence he had planned the crime for several weeks. The DA's office says the young man confessed to the murder. The Dallas County District Attorney has filed motions to dismiss 2 felony criminal cases against Commissioner John Wiley Price. In one case, a former office worker alleged Price raped her 2 years ago. Now, she says she wants the case dropped because of threats made to jurors in Price's assault trial back in May. In the second case, KXAS photographer Fred Watts is withdrawing his criminal mischief complaint. Watts had alleged Price struck his camera in March. DA John Vance says without complaining witnesses, the state has no case.
More U.S. troops are on their way to help the victims of Hurricane Andrew. Today, the Army said more than 11,000 additional soldiers will be sent to South Florida by next week. The 16,000 troops already there are now concentrating on cleaning up debris. The Army reports good progress in taking care of hurricane victims' basic needs, food, water, and shelter. Relief workers in South Florida say they have so much food and clothing, they're asking people to stop donating those items. And to aid long-term recovery, a group of 100 business leaders met today. They promised they would rebuild destroyed businesses and restore lost jobs.
More relief for the victims left homeless by Hurricane Andrew in Louisiana. The federal government hopes to soon provide 1,400 homes to victims needing emergency shelter. Many of these will be set up in Morgan City, hard hit by the hurricane. The new lodgings include mobile homes, temporary apartments, and houses. 140 were repossessed in the savings and loan scandal.
Turning to the campaign trail, President Bush today courted small business. Bush addressed residents of the small town of Fredericksburg, Virginia, where he signed legislation to increase loan guarantees to small businesses. Later, he toured a local hardware store where he had to defend his economic policies. Also, Bush scoffed at talk of the, quote, Santa Claus president and denied that a series of initiatives unveiled this week to help hard-hit sections of the economy were designed only to buy votes.
You guys ask them which of these proposals they stand against. Which ones they're against? They don't want to sell the airplanes in Texas. They don't want to help the farmer. Which ones? I mean, see, these are good, sound proposals. They fit into our budget structure. They create jobs. So I have nothing but great pride in this.
And taking a jab at his opponent, Bush says Bill Clinton may talk a good game, but he says Clinton's policies threaten to tax and spend and regulate you out of business.
Meanwhile, Democratic presidential nominee Bill Clinton was in familiar territory today, Arkansas. Clinton and running mate Al Gore this morning got the endorsement of the Sierra Club. At a morning news conference, Clinton attacked President Bush's environmental policies, and he accused Bush of deceiving the country about having to choose between jobs or a clean environment.
Thank you very much. I've invited them to come to Arkansas. I will do it again. You heard what has been said. The truth is that this state has a better record on the environment and on the economy than this administration in Washington does.
Clinton says a clean and healthy environment makes good economic sense.
And now taking a closer look at the economy, the latest figures out from the government today reveal that the number of jobs in the economy fell by 83,000 in July. This even though the actual unemployment rate improved to 7.6%. The Federal Reserve responded to the news by lowering the interest rate banks charge one another. The People's Republic of China wants to do more business in Dallas-Fort Worth. Several companies from mainland China have opened a 5-day exhibit of their products at the Dallas Convention Center. But the trade display comes at a difficult time in U.S.-Chinese relations, and Dallas Mayor Steve Bartlett is caught in the middle. Channel 8's Doug Fox explains.
This is number one.
Even China's #1 selling wine is among a myriad of products available for U.S. companies to import and sell in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. In small ways, ornamental vases, rugs, clothing, kitchen utensils, tires, even Chinese-made Swiss Army knives tear away at trade barriers between the U.S. and China. But sometimes economics and foreign policy just don't mix well.
There is a certain weirdness about it all. The Chinese Communist Party newspaper, The People's Daily, accuses the Bush administration of engaging in deceit and lies to justify its sale of F-16 jet fighters to China's enemy, Taiwan. Yet here, the Chinese are trying to sell more of their products in the U.S., while many in the U.S. worry about democracy inside China. It all gets very confusing.
Our purpose is to promote the trade and economic cooperations between China and the United States.
But China's commercial consul from Houston doesn't want to talk about the F-16 flap or the struggle for democracy that ended in a bloody government crackdown on rebellious students in Tiananmen Square 3 years ago. Dallas Mayor Steve Bartlett, who first said he would boycott the exhibit, then decided to attend after all, got in a few licks for freedom.
We urge our friends to be certain to deal with their citizens in a way that promotes freedom, both political, economic, and human rights. It does seem to me that this trade show, Expo 92, will assist in that.
If better trade raises the standard of living in both countries, argues Bartlett, it also speeds democracy's eventual victory in mainland China. And the snip of a red ribbon in Dallas may be a small step in that direction. Doug Fox, Channel 8 News.
Well, many people may be thinking about Labor Day getaways this weekend, but doctors want you to plan ahead for the flu season. A HealthWise report is still ahead.
And later, meet a South Texas man who doesn't think twice about putting another nickel in the jukebox. Find out why in today's Texas Tale.
But first, the Labor Day holiday is underway. Let's check area traffic with Metro Traffic's Gail Lightfoot. Gail?
And it's not off to a good start this afternoon, John. Heavy freeways all over Fort Worth, Dallas, and in between. Now, there's a jackknifed 18-wheeler on the ramp from I-30 East R.L. Thornton to northbound I-45. On westbound 635 LBJ before the tollway, a 3-car collision. On southbound I-35 Stemmons, traffic is just stacked from Inwood into downtown Mixmaster. And on southbound 75 Central at Mid-Park, a car is slammed into a wall, and that's backing traffic into the Richardson corridor. Gail Lightfoot, News 8 Metro Traffic.
Hi, John. How you doing today?
Eckerd pharmacist Don Blankenship makes a point of knowing his customers' names by the third time he sees them.
Betty.
It takes a special kind of person to do that. But then it takes a special kind of person to be an Eckerd pharmacist.
If you're concerned about your blood pressure, you want to keep an eye on it. But did you know you can go into Eckerd and check it for free?
Good.
I don't know about you. To me, that says a lot about the place.
Now at Redbird Nissan, the final liquidation. The final 192 stanzas will be disposed of in the next few days. The final 192 stanzas ever to be sold here, the last of their kind. Save $5,000 on a stanza. Or drive one for $99.99. That's only $149 a month. Buy a Nissan for virtually pennies on the dollar. Drive to Duncanville now while the savings last. The final 100 at the Redbird Nissan Clearance Center, I-20 at Camp Wisdom Road. You will never get this chance again.
Some simple instructions for living. Compliments of the Black-Eyed Pea. Have a firm handshake. Always root for the home team. Spend your money wisely. Treat yourself to good home cooking, like something from the grill at the Black-Eyed Pea. Tender charbroiled chicken, fresh grilled tuna, or juicy pork chops, all with plenty of fresh vegetables and homemade rolls. Only at the Black-Eyed Pea. Oh, and call your mother sometime.
These days, everybody's telling you that all the good food is bad.
What's up next?
More food you shouldn't eat.
And we'll be right back.
Now you can eat what you want. Light and Lean 97, a new line of meats from Hormel. It figures Hormel would make meats that are 97% fat-free taste this good. So why give up the food you enjoy?
Food.
Just say no. Eat what you want to eat. Light and Lean 97 from Hormel.
Well, Texas gets an F for its child labor program, according to a new report. The National Workplace Safety Institute says in its annual Labor Day report that years of government neglect of child labor issues and a lust of cheap labor put the lives and health of thousands of children at risk. The report also graded state child labor programs based on work permit rules, health and safety requirements, and working hours. Wisconsin topped the list with an A-. Texas joined 20 other states receiving an F. If you smoke and have children, here's one more reason to kick the habit. Your smoking could cause emotional damage. A study says children whose mothers are heavy smokers tend to have more behavioral problems. Researchers say women who smoke a pack a day or more after pregnancy were twice as likely to have children who were hyperactive or suffered from anxiety. Possible explanations? Well, researchers say the cigarette smoke may alter the child's central nervous system, or it could alter the woman's behavior, in turn affecting the child's behavior. The study was conducted by researchers in Rochester and at Harvard. No explanation on why there was no mention of the effects on children whose fathers smoke.
Well, the summer season is ending, the football season is starting, and the flu season is coming. The flu vaccine for this year has a definite Texas twist. Channel 8's Dennis Johnson has today's HealthWise report from Houston.
Within the walls of the Baylor College of Medicine are people in hot pursuit of viral bad guys who make many of us feel just plain lousy. Last year, the flu sleuths from the Influenza Research Center isolated a new strain circulating around the world. It was appropriately named A. Texas. Flu experts in Houston believe this year's outbreak will be mild to moderate, but that's no reason to forget vaccination. The flu vaccine covers the A. Texas, A. Beijing, and B. Panama viral strains. The vaccine is made of killed, inactivated viruses, so the shot cannot cause flu. Yet some people say they get sick after immunization.
We have to remember that there are over 200 respiratory viruses circulating all the time. And unfortunately, in the fall, at the time we're trying to immunize everybody, there are a lot of cold viruses circulating. So it's not unusual for somebody to get an acute respiratory illness soon after a flu shot, but that's not the flu.
Usually the flu season runs from late December to early March, but last year it arrived and departed much earlier. The Influenza Research Center already has begun immunizations for the 92-93 season. Recommended to get the shot are people 65 years and older, people with chronic illnesses, household members in close contact with high-risk persons, healthcare workers, and people with immune system problems.
Currently, there's no recommendation for school children, healthy school children, to be vaccinated. However, if their parents wish to decrease their chance of having the flu, they can take the flu shots. There are studies now being carried out in the United States on new nose drop vaccines, which we think will be more acceptable and more effective for younger school children.
Sometimes a variant flu strain will show up after the vaccine has come out. That happened in 1986 with the A Taiwan strain, and some people had to get a second shot. So far, there's no sign of that happening this year. Dennis Johnson, Channel 8 News, Houston.
And of course, if you have questions about flu shots, contact your doctor or local health department. John?
Mazda today announced plans to recall nearly 17,000 cars. The car maker is recalling 1990 Miatas to replace the catalytic converters. Mazda will notify owners of the cars by mail. If your car is affected, Mazda says the procedure takes about 1 hour and will be performed free of charge.
Also free of charge our Labor Day holiday weekend.
Yes, I'll give you that for free, and I think you're probably going to like most of it. The clouds gave us a break today in that they held in for a while and kept the temperatures down. We didn't hit 95, but we probably will tomorrow, and more about that in a moment.
Service Star is having a real giant of a sale. The savings will knock your socks off. But it's one day, Saturday only. Service Star's Super Savings Saturday. This Saturday only, get low prices on a Rubbermaid trash can, $7.99. A Service Star wheelbarrow, $19.99. 4 GE Inside Frost light bulbs at $1.19. And a Makita 3/8-inch cordless drill, $34.99. Super Savings Saturday, this Saturday only. It's time to save a ton at Service Star.
Hurry into Circuit City's Labor Day weekend sale now for unbeatable savings. Like this GE 25-inch color TV, just $298.97. This VCR with remote, now $144.97. And this Packard Bell 386SX computer with monitor and printer, now $1199.97. It's the Labor Day weekend sale, now through Monday at Circuit City.
Welcome to Circuit City, where service is state-of-the-art.
Growing up, my uncle was always there to talk to explain the world. It's hard being so far away now, Last spring, a flood hit his place hard. We each wired him a MoneyGram from American Express. We could count on it, and it's a lot less expensive, and that helps. We may be all over the country, but our hearts are in the same place.
Send a MoneyGram free to South Florida and Louisiana to help Hurricane Andrew victims.
In the real world, now is the best time to get a great deal on a new car. It's year-end clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. The 92s must go to make room for the 93s, so we're making great deals. Get incredible clearance savings on everything in stock, like a claim at its lowest price ever. Wait no longer, make your best deal and make no monthly payments for 120 days. So hurry in now. Get real advantages for the real world during the year-end clearance at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Tonight's weather is sponsored by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
Clouds looked like they held the promise of some rain for a while this morning, but nothing ever happened, and the rain formed up elsewhere. The radar frame currently shows some thunder shower activity north and west and south of Austin. Nothing close by. There was a bit earlier in the afternoon. Let's go back to around noon. And we were looking for activity. Most of it was in the southeastern part of the state. Then a little bit formed up near Terrell. That didn't last long. Some more just west of Tyler. That popped up into a pretty good little thunder shower for a while, but it rained itself out just about in place. And this afternoon, the only activity we have left in our part of the radar area here is just south and west of Austin. So none for us, and probably not much of significance the next couple of days, but we'll get to that in a moment. Here's the way the radar looked this morning. The remnant of activity south and east of Dallas-Fort Worth. The upper air low-pressure trough is east of us, but there's enough residual instability from the last few days, and certainly the moisture's in place, so showers have been with us anyway. And today, those thunder showers popped up with the aid of Gulf moisture coming inland, and we see quite a bit of thunderstorm activity, rather heavy cloud, still from the western part of Louisiana, west of Houston. Very heavy thunderstorms west of Kingsville over toward the area east of San Antonio this afternoon, and those continue to fall, but we're just seeing the edge of that activity on the radar near Austin, and you see where we are. There's really hardly any significant cloudiness now. It's late afternoon sunshine has brought our temperatures up, but we stayed short of 90 degrees, though. Temperatures now, we're at 87. It's 96 at San Antonio, 82 in Houston, where the rains cool things down. Same for New Orleans, 89 at Amarillo, 94. Midland, Odessa, 97. El Paso, the warm spot around our part of the country today. 87 has been our high. 69 was the morning low. 87 currently. Heat index is not terribly significant, but the temperature humidity index is 92. Humidity is 59%. The barometer is falling. When southeast today, didn't rain. Air quality readings are good today. The pollen count has been edging up every day this week. Dr. Jeff Edelglass and his troops did this for us as always. Thanks to them. 1,568 grains of pollen per cubic meter of air. 1149 fungus. Ragweed up to 398. Started the week a little bit under 200. It's edging up. It's that time. Many of you can tell that, I think. And small amounts of weed, cedar elm, and grass. 10 o'clock tonight, 78 degrees. Probably fair skies at that point, but I think we'll cloud over during the night. Tomorrow morning's low temperature around 72. Don't be surprised if you wake up to see cloudy skies, and that might last until about the middle of the day. Tomorrow by noon up to 84. Now, this trough of low pressure will be closer tomorrow, and the strong high pressure system to the east will figure in this as well. Southerly winds 15 to 25 miles an hour tomorrow, and lake wind advisories may be required. Tomorrow afternoon's high will be about 95. Showers, I think, will stay east of us. Then tomorrow goes into Sunday. Sunday, I think it'll be 74 in the morning, 95 in the afternoon. The tail of a cool front coming near us on Sunday. So Sunday, there could be a thunder shower, too, though I suspect most of it will be east of Dallas. And the rest of your Labor Day outlook and on to next week at 6.
All right. Thanks a lot, Troy.
Well, it took some late-night negotiating, but the Dallas Cowboys finally signed wide receiver Michael Irvin. Now Irvin's got a smile a mile wide. Details next in sports.
And meet the jukebox man of South Texas, coming up in today's Texas Tale.
Toyotathon summer clearance ends Monday, Labor Day. It's the last weekend with great deals on the all-new Camry.
Plus, you can get great savings on Tercel, America's lowest price sedan.
Get option package savings, even on the sporty Celica. Your Toyota dealer's working overtime with factory incentives and option savings on tough trucks.
Toyotathon summer clearance ends Monday night.
Hurry to your Toyota dealer now and let him work for you this Labor Day weekend.
Tonight. Allow me to introduce myself. My name is Danger. Johnny Danger.
Urkel's a private nerd.
I need your help, Mr. Danger. Desperately.
Family Matters. Then,
I'm the only guy here without a stupid animal on his shirt.
will the Lamberts get carried away with country club life?
Come on, let's shake it up, baby.
Or will they just get carried away on Step by Step?
That's tonight, here on Channel 8, followed by the News 8 update at 10.
Blockbuster Video has all the hot summer hits, more hot new releases, and more copies of them. ROCK-A-DOODLE featuring the voice of Glenn Campbell. Fried Green Tomatoes with Kathy Bates and Jessica Tandy. Woody Harrelson in White Men Can't Jump. Memoirs of an Invisible Man with Chevy Chase. Mike Myers and Dana Carvey in Wayne's World. Get a 2-liter Pepsi and Blockbuster popcorn for only 99 cents with any 2 rentals. Blockbuster Video's hot summer hits. Take them home and watch them tonight.
In the real world, now is the best time to get a great deal on a new car. It's year-end clearance time at your Chrysler Plymouth dealers. The 92s must go to make room for the 93s, so we're making great deals. Get incredible clearance savings on everything in stock, like a claim at its lowest price ever. Wait no longer, make your best deal and make no monthly payments for 120 days. So hurry in now. Get real advantages for the real world during the year-end clearance at your local Chrysler Plymouth dealers.
Tonight's sports is sponsored by your local Chrysler Plymouth dealer.
24 hours can change a lot of things.
Yeah, apparently miracles do happen. Steve Endicott was saying that's what it would take, and apparently it did. Well, we did tell you last night the Cowboys and Michael Irvin were talking, and finally somebody listened. Michael Irvin has a deal. Not the one he wanted, but he knows it's time to be Michael Irvin again. And here's Susie Williams.
I think my smile said it all, you know.
Michael Irvin looked happy, even if it took a late-night compromise for him to sign a 3-year deal worth at least $1.25 million a season, plus incentives.
I want to play Monday night, next Sunday, the Sunday after that, the Sunday after that, the Sunday, then the next Monday, the Sunday, then the next Monday. What influenced me? I want to play football.
How much Irvin contributes in Monday's season opener against Washington has yet to be determined. But already, teammates say his infectious personality has given them a lift.
You got the mouth of the South, of Dade County, Broward County here, so, you know, it livened up a little bit. You know, like a kid in a candy store, man. You happy to be back. And I got a lot of candy. You got a lot of Ben Franklin's and
but can he take hits as well as he took the locker room ribbing?
I've taken hits for 15 years. I'm okay. Don't rush me into taking hits. Don't worry.
He's going to be a little bit rusty, I think. I know that Mike's been working extremely hard. He's been running routes, and he's had some guys throwing the balls to him during his holdout. But it's still a little bit different when he starts going up against a defensive back and starts trying to incorporate his routes into patterns with other receivers. So we'll get, he'll get some work today and tomorrow, and I think he'll be fine.
I think he wanted to be back. I know Jerry Jones wanted him back, and everybody around here wanted him back. So now he's back. It's about time for him to get that Darryl Green reunited.
And time for Irvin to get back to his old playful self after being a little testy the last few days.
It's nothing personal. It's just business. That's all. It was nothing personal. I do apologize for any inconvenience or any displeasure I might have caused anybody.
Michael Irvin's return livened up the practice field and the locker room. Now players hope he can liven things up for the season opener against Washington. Susie Woodhams, Channel 8 Sports at Valley Ranch.
Yeah, but isn't that a lot better, that story, than the one we've been doing about arguing about money? Huh?
Definitely. Yeah. Thanks a lot.
Thank you, Dan.
Well, tonight at 6, a victim of sexual assault talks about her efforts to increase awareness of an underreported crime.
Find out why Josephine Flores is going public with her story to help other Hispanic rape victims.
Plus, the forecast is calling for heavy metal at Texas Stadium this weekend.
And authorities are hoping to keep music lovers cool. Gary Reeves has that story on News 8 at 6, so stick around. And finally this Friday, whether you call them Nickelodeons or jukeboxes, they are part of American culture.
And if you have some spare change, you can spend it and a full day visiting with the man John Pronk tells us about in tonight's Texas Tale.
Leo Schmidt is known as Smitty. He's also known as a jukebox aficionado. Owning 100 of them will give you that reputation.
I was a kid, I would mow a yard, lawn all day, make a quarter, and then I go to town and put the damn thing in the jukebox, see? So it's been a love since I was a kid, on up, yes.
It's also been a career. He's repaired and operated jukeboxes 38 years in the lower Rio Grande Valley.
Back in them days that we made a living. A nickel a play, and now it's 25 cents, and we're barely making a living.
His antique jukebox collection dates back to this 1937 Wurlitzer. He's been offered more than $30,000 for this 1942 Wurlitzer. But like most, it's not for sale. He scours the country looking for jukeboxes. Most are found in old barrooms or restaurants. Many are in poor condition, and he picks them up for less than $200. If he can't find parts, he'll make them.
It makes you feel good, you know. You go in there and something that's 50 years old and people have thrown it away, you know, and thrown it in the junk, and you go in there and put a new motor, new tubes and so forth in it, and then you get it working, and then you're sort of proud of your job, you know.
John Frank, Channel 8 News, Pharr, Texas.
Now, they may not sound as good as the record players today, but they sure are prettier, aren't they?
Oh, yeah, much more attractive, much more attractive. That's the news of this hour. Thanks for joining us.
Have a great weekend, everybody, and we'll see you back here tonight at 6, and we'll be back on Monday, and we'll be working at least.
That's right. You have a happy holiday.